Have you seen any good documentaries lately?
Yes. Yes, I have.
I'm gonna keep asking this question, so you might as well just prepare yourself, especially when it comes to review.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so have I. And do we have a treat for you, audience? The documentary in question is Fat
Fat
Tuesdays,
Tuesday.
the era of hip hop comedy. Available on Amazon Prime Video for the free if you subscribe to Prime, clearly. It's a three-part docu-series. It highlights the impact of Fat Tuesdays at the Comedy Store, specifically in West Hollywood, California.
This is some of the best documenting I've seen in years.
Oh yeah.
And I enjoy documentaries a lot. I mean, it may not seem like it because I'm me, but this documentary was spot on.
Okay, self-loathing. Shout out to Reginald Hudlin for providing the crisp quality material per usual. And I don't even have to run down his freaking list of accolades and what he's done. If you know, you know. But respect to him, because this is a very well done documentary. With the interest of comedy that we have, this documentary definitely did it justice, especially when it comes to Black comedy in general and centering that as opposed to, the other counterparts that we typically are overrun with material and content.
Yeah, that's how we're putting it now. That's how we're putting it. Okay.
How else do you want to
Oh,
put it?
no, you were spot on.
Is there another way?
I am perfectly okay with it.
I'm just asking. I mean, we told you it's Black 365, so yeah, it's not February anymore, but we still black.
I
Hi.
mean, that was a spot on description. So yeah.
This documentary collects real life footage, visuals, and has an interview based style of storytelling from very familiar faces. I feel like I don't want to spoil who's involved, but it's just like it's heavy hitter after heavy hitter. It's ridiculous. If you're familiar with the era of 90s comedy in general, from Def Comedy Jam to Comic View, from a consumer, general public perspective, you'll be excited just to watch this and see everybody. And how good they still look, because do I have to say it? Should I even say it?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Go ahead, Kong.
Black don't crack, baby.
It doesn't crack at all. Everybody still looks good. It's wild. Wild things.
Like she said, she didn't want to spoil it, but the heavy hitters they got to make this documentary is out of this world. Like they got some people.
And it's great because they weren't too big to come back and actually pay their respects to where a lot of them actually started out from and actually got, a buzz from. Be it the proximity to Hollywood was right there. So a lot of them got a lot of notoriety and just an eye.
Oh yeah, most
Just
definitely.
performing at Fat Tuesdays or even being there.
Like G said, it was cool to just see everybody get that respect to what is now considered in our culture and our community such a monumentous thing. I mean, you had Def Comedy Jam and you had Fat Tuesdays. It was like those things combined is like forming Captain Planet. Like it's the most.
Man, yeah, that was like, you want some real
Mm.
powerhouse comedy? And I know how sensitive some of you are anyway, because if you would go back and watch them now, some of y'all would have a problem with it. But we're not talking to you guys. We're talking to people that actually are fans of comedy and
Yeah,
enjoy the laughter. I'm pretty sure some of y'all remember just watching those and how great it was. Just seeing Black comics on TV, because it wasn't normalized.
it really wasn't. And even thinking about what they said in the documentary about it not being normalized, about the struggles of trying to get this started, about how this wasn't just a thing that was just thrown together. Like nobody had the trust of any white person. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna put it out there. Nobody had that trust from,
Might as well. I mean, they say it, so yeah.
yeah, from the white people owning these comedy stores to say, hey, we gonna let, according to them, we gonna let a nigga do this, and he think he gonna bring us money? Oh,
Yeah,
nigga, please. And when they started bringing them money,
that whole concept of Fat Tuesdays was a trial and error type of thing. This was literally something they wanted him to fail on. And when we say him, it's basically Guy Tori we're speaking about. So just imagine cultivating your own idea of having a platform where Black creators come together and for one cause, and on a mostly white platform where essentially everybody is on one accord, ideally. But you have the platform telling you, like, yeah, go ahead and try that. Whatever. It's not going to be successful. There's no way. And then actually pulling off a successful event week
Exactly.
by week. Does that sound familiar? Oh, okay.
Week by week, month by
If you know,
month,
you know.
and ain't nobody able to do the same thing that you're able to do. It sounds a little bit
If you know,
familiar.
you know.
It sounds a little bit familiar. And a lot of people are looking real unfamiliar right now. Game recognized game. But
But yeah, I mean, we're not gonna give away like gems or jokes that were dropped basically because there's so
oh
much,
heck you
especially
know.
like background to some stories
Heck
you
you
may have
know.
heard of, but they just provide it from that firsthand perspective. It's highly recommended that you watch it. It covers so many topics, including just the social and entertainment climate of the day, a little bit of music, racial divide, politics of comedy, the marginalization of Black comics, and why platforms like Fat Tuesdays are imperative to the community. It was well done.
Oh, a little bit of music? And I want to go back to G said, like the innovating of music and comedy. To hear, I don't want to get nothing away, but just to hear the combination of those two things, I think that was the most enjoyable part for me because I love music and I love to laugh. And I know G loves the same thing. So just hearing how they put those two together to make this one of the most poppin' type, like to take it from Fat Tuesdays and bring it to Def Comedy Jam, and to take it from Def Comedy Jam to like that was one of the most interesting things for me because it's like, oh man, who would have thought to put comedy and music, regardless if it's hip hop, R&B, whatever the case may be, who would have thought to just merge those two together? And I love that aspect of this documentary.
I mean, that's literally our culture. That's what we do. Aside from cultivating cool, that's we provide that.
Oh
We're
yeah.
very talented when it comes down to it. In all genres, making you laugh and making you dance. And beyond that.
It's so hard to do this without spoiling anything because it's so good.
No, it's worth the watch to the point where I don't even want to spoil anything. This is
That's what
probably
I'm.
one of the only reviews I will provide without spoilers, because nah.
It's so in
Nah.
depth, and even the current day, like vocalization of everything that went on back then, is still like the punchlines and the jokes that they have today about back then. Is like, well, daggone, what can I say about this documentary? That's like without ruining everything. Good grief, y'all made this really hard. How is it funny now just as much as it was back then?
Because they're
So,
funny. That's talent. Real talent does not
man,
die, nor will their jokes. Like, come on now.
it's really good. And being a guy who didn't grow up with cable,
Well, here we go.
stop it. No, it was just cool to see how these two things were implemented. It was cool to see how Russell Simmons was like, okay, yeah, we could do this with Fat Tuesdays, and we could take this and make it in some, like, it was to see the workings in the mind of our people coming together and building an empire that's just full of love like it this was is great. It was great to see.
Yeah, and typically kind of was just like a reminder of cultivating those communities and pushing ideas and talent forward rather than people clawing each other's eyes out in competitions that people are tend to run to themselves, I guess. Essentially, you are in competition with yourself while the other person's like, I had no idea that you considered me a competitor, but like, if you're trying to bring somebody up, that's not the way to do it. It's possible to exist together. You can coexist on one platform. You don't have to be the one standout Black person in your community. There's room. I promise. There's space.
Girl, yes. The many talented people who graced that stage. And it wasn't, oh, I'm gonna bring you down. It was, oh, this dude did this. I gotta step my game up to this. This person did this. I gotta step my game up to this. Like, If I can, I'll give one example. Robin Harris. The praise that they give Robin
Well
Harris.
deserved.
Oh my, I wanted to cry because it was just that good. It wasn't even Robin Harris is the GOAT among GOAT.
I mean, people tend to overlook him. Obviously, we clearly know Bebe's Kids is one of our favorite films. Freaking House Party is literally one of my favorite movies. We talk about him here and there oftentimes, but even in just the general conversation of comedy, he's often left out. Even though a lot of people got their style from him, their cadence and
Yes.
their delivery as far as how they tell jokes. His
Come on.
storytelling, unmatched.
His freaking jiving. And that's the thing, even if you got jived on in the middle of the daggone show,
Nah,
you still like, man,
that crowd work was different.
this dude funny. I can't even, I'm upset, but he's funny.
Big shout out to Robin Harris.
You talk about a dude's jury curl as he walks to the bathroom, and he don't even stop to get upset. He just keep laughing because it's like, well, I don't know what else.
It's like, man, he is right.
Just dripping on down to the bathroom. The vibe, the energy, togetherness was so much different back then. And it was such a good thing to see that our people was just, listen, I'm trying to help him. And Guy Tori was all about that. That's
Yeah.
what I loved about this. It wasn't no animosity, it wasn't no hate. It's I'm trying. I'm trying to do this for these people. I'm trying to do this for them. I'm trying to do it for myself. If I want myself to succeed, then I got to see my brothers and sisters succeed. And that's what I loved about this documentary. Nobody was trying to make anyone fail. It was so much about this is our people. This is what we needed. This is what we wanted. And I want to see everybody come up. And that was the most significant part of that entire series. And I loved it.
Oh, for sure. My favorite thing was the production, like hands down. As important as comedy is, it just does a great job elucidating that era and just having you feel like
Ooh,
you're there. The quality of the visuals, the natural candor of everybody just talking and having
girl,
the talking head interviews, it was just put together so well. Like, that's how you do it.
tell these people.
That is how you do it.
Man, there was multiple times me and G just sat there watching the documentary and we was like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be in 1990 what? And it looked like they filmed it yesterday.
Hello. Shout out to the visuals teams for sure.
Girl,
I feel you on a first hand level.
the
That quality right there,
the pictures alone
please.
looked like they were taken yesterday.
The photos. Let's talk about resolution and the
Ugh,
importance of it.
I
Do we even have to get into that?
please,
Especially on film and video?
by all means.
Man, the crystal clear clarity that they provided without warping, constraining proportions, making the picture look like it was just like OD photoshopped and over processed. No, that's not what this was at all. Very high quality. Y'all probably like, what's she talking all these graphical terms? That's literally what I live. So stuff like that, I notice and I see. Beyond cinematography, I saw it and I appreciated it.
I again, here's the reason why at the very beginning of this podcast, I have not seen a production for a documentary as good as this. Anybody would show you can watch the documentary about Tupac. You can watch the documentary about Biggie Smalls. But you could tell that those people were just putting something together because they had a story. Cool. This?
Well, yeah, typically when it comes to documentaries, the footage and, tertiary visuals, they're just spliced together just
Mm-hmm.
to state the facts, tell the story. They took their time when it came to just showing everything again, just so you could really feel like you were there. And it worked.
They
It
cared so
worked.
much about this project. It was fantastic. It was like watching some of the footage from back then. I was sitting there thinking, like, man, why isn't it the 90s again?
It was a whole move.
Like, everything looks spot on. They took 4K upscaling to a whole nother level. It was gorgeous to watch. And that is a understatement. Oh, this documentary was just I can't even put it into words, girl. I'm at a loss for words when it comes to production and video.
So with that being said, I give it a 1. Just kidding. Ain't no way. Can you imagine?
I'd be very disappointed.
I hold my standards quite high when it comes to documentaries.
I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed.
Nah, ain't no way. What would you rate it?
On a scale of 1 through 5, this is my first 5. I'm sorry. This is a 5 out of 5.
Hey, well,
And it's not because I'm black.
that is a 5 for me as well. Who was even saying that?
Listen, some people out there, oh, it's a black documentary, so of course they're gonna give it a 5.
Is it because you have black friends? You hang around black people? Was that why?
No, it's not.
Oh, get out of here with that nonsense right rhetoric. Anyway, please. It's a 5 because it deserves.
Exactly.
I want to give it lower because it only had 3 episodes, but you know what? They were so
Man.
well done that I can't even fret. I have to give it the 5.
Ooh, I really hope y'all do yourselves a favor and go enjoy this. This is worth the watch. It is. Ooh, it's worth your time. This is fantastic.
Oh, for sure. And again, just for those who may have missed it, it is available on Prime Video. If you subscribe to Amazon, you have access. Go watch it.
Go now.
Let us know if you watched it, how much you enjoyed it. All negative comments will be deleted and obliterated.
You know, all the negative comments. I can't believe they made this about color.
Feel free to share what you think with us on social media. We're on IG and Twitter. Visit us at verbalvibemode.com. And we will talk to you next week.
Mad love, y'all.